All right. You guys, you freaking guys. Welcome to the school. Good old Professor Hypnotic is coming back at you today with yet another Pokemon Sword and Shield how-to tutorial video. And I'm going to be making a lot more of these types of videos going forward. So definitely, if you find this video helpful, please drop a like. Please remember to subscribe because it really helps out my channel. But today we're going to be talking about a hot topic in Pokemon Sword and Shield, right? We're going to be talking about how to reset the dens in the wild area so that you can obtain the Pokemon that you are looking for from Dynamax or Gigantamax raids. Now, this topic has been kind of a hot topic. There's been a little bit of a debate as to whether or not this is considered hacking or not. I don't really think so. And I'll kind of explain that throughout the video as we go forward, why I really don't think so. Not that big of a deal. But without further ado, we're going to jump into it and I'm going to show you what this is all about. All right. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to decide which Pokemon do we want to hunt. So as you can see, I'm over here on Cerebi.net, and they've put together a phenomenal page that actually covers every single Pokemon that you can get from a max raid battle, and then also which dens within the wild area they actually spawn in. So this is going to be a phenomenal resource for us to be able to track down the Pokemon that we're looking for. I'm going to drop a link to this page in the description so that you can all check it out as well. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to go after Gigantamax Charizard, okay? Everybody seems to be in love with Gigantamax Charizard, so that's what we're going to go after in this video. And as you can see, Den 53 and Den 77 within the wild area are the locations where Charizard is known to spawn. So I'm going to click on Den 77, and now it's going to give us a breakdown of all the Pokemon that we can find within Den 77, right? And if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, we'll see that Den 77 is actually located at the Lake of Outrage in this area with these big surrounding stones. So you can actually see an image of where the den is located within the game, so it makes it easier for you to track it down. And now if we scroll back up, we'll see we're going to go to Pokemon Shield. I'm playing Pokemon Shield. The Pokemon up here are Pokemon Sword. So I'm going to go down to Pokemon Shield. That's the game, the title that I'm playing. And this first row of Pokemon here are all Pokemon that spawn with the red beam of light, right? So a regular max raid battle with a red beam of light, these are the Pokemon that you're going to find in those raids. And if we go down to the second column here, the second row of Pokemon here, these are all the Pokemon that you can find from the purple beam of light. I think at this point we've all seen the rare max raid battles that have the purple beam of light and the crazy swirls, and you can tell that they're different, right? So these are the Pokemon we're going to find there, and then obviously Gigantamax Charizard is one of them with a rarity of 5%. That means every time you find one of those purple raids at Den 77, you've got a 5% chance of it being Charizard. So normally this is actually going to be really difficult to do because one, the purple beams of light are pretty rare to begin with, and then once you find one specifically at Den 77, you still only have a 5% chance of getting Charizard. So I'm going to show you how to force Den 77 to give you this Gigantamax Charizard much quicker. Here we go. All right, so we're on our way to Den 77 at the Lake of Outrage, but before we get there, we have to make sure we have one thing. We're going to need a wishing piece because we need a wishing piece to trigger the max raid battle. So if you don't have one, you're going to want to go up to one of these guys right here that sell the wishing pieces within the wild area. You're going to want to talk to them and say, spend my watts, and then you're going to buy a wishing piece. I'm actually down to 2 wishing pieces, so I'm just going to buy 10 more just for the sake of it, just to have them. It'll probably take me quite a while to actually go through those, but make sure you have at least 1 wishing piece because you need at least 1 to pull this off. All right, so here we are. We're coming up on the Lake of Outrage. We're going to hop onto the lake. There we go, Lake of Outrage, and we're going to avoid all these water spawns. We're going to motor across the lake and try not to get caught by any of these water spawns. So we don't want any of that slowing us down. We're going after Gigantamax Charizard. So now here we are. When you come back into this back corner, you cross the lake, come into this corner, you're going to see this den here that's surrounded by stones. This is Den 77. As you can see, it matches the image that we saw in Cerebi with all the stones surrounding it. So we know we're at the right den, right? We're here. So the first thing that we are going to do, first thing is we're going to save the game. Save the game. You need to save the game because if we don't get the spawn that we're looking for, we want to restart the game right from this point, right? So here we are. We're at the well. We've saved the game. And I'm actually going to show you my inventory really quickly I'm going to show you that you're not going to actually end up wasting any wishing pieces doing this. So I have 12 wishing pieces. You can see on screen I've got 12 wishing pieces in my inventory, and we're not gonna end up blowing through them. Technically, you only need one wishing piece to accomplish this. And you'll see that as we go forward here. So I'm going to click on the den. Now that we've saved the game, I'm going to click on the den. This is super important, right? It's going to say there doesn't seem to be anything in the den. Do you want to throw a wishing piece? And then the very next text box says, do you want to save your adventure so far? You're going to hit yes, and then you're immediately going to hit the home button. Immediately. So I'm going to try this real quick. We're going to hit yes, and then immediately hit the home button. And as you can see, there was a red beam of light that showed up in that well. Right before we left and came out to the home screen here, there was a red beam of light that came out of that well. So I know that it's not a rare raid. It's not a rare raid with the purple beam of light. And I also know that Gigantamax Charizard only spawns in the purple beam of light. So now I know that I don't want that raid. I know that I cannot get Gigantamax Charizard from that raid. So I'm just going to reset my software. I'm going to hit the X button, close software, boom. And then I'm going to reopen it. I'm going to click on Pokemon Shield, and it's going to restart right in the same exact place that I just was. We're going to be at Den 77. We're going to be at Den 77 when this loads up. Here we go. Back into the game. We'll be cold chilling at Den 77. Come on. Loading. There we are. So we're at Den 77, and I'll show you, if I go back to my inventory in my bag, I should still have 12 wishing pieces. I do. I didn't waste my wishing piece. I still have it. So I'm going to try it one more time here. I'm going to click on the den. It's going to say, do you want to save your adventure? I'm going to hit yes and then hit the home button. And I got yet another red beam of light. Another red beam of light. I know I don't want that, so I'm going to close the software. And I'm going to keep repeating this process over and over and over until I get that purple beam of light. All right, so I just got the purple beam of light. I just hit my home button and I just saw the purple beam of light pop up. So I'm going to go back into the game. I'm not going to reset the software now. I'm going to go back into the game. It's going to say now saving your progress. You saved your progress, and that's fine. I don't care. So the game is saved and it took my wishing piece, but that's what I want because I finally have a purple beam of light. And this is the type of raid that a Gigantamax Charizard can spawn from. So now we're going to move on to the second part of this video, which is actually forcing this thing to give us the Charizard. Now that the game is saved, I'm going to click on this raid and I'm going to see what it is. Okay, it's an Arcanine. I don't want an Arcanine raid, right? I want this to be a Charizard raid, and I can force it to change. This is the part that people have been debating about, whether or not this is the right thing to do, whether it's considered hacking or not. But in my humble opinion, we're not using any hacking software, no third-party software. We're not hacking the code. We're not using a computer to hack into the game. All we're using is our wishing piece and our controller, right? So I'm going to show you how this is done, and I'm going to back out first, and I'm going to actually go to my Ycom menu because this is kind of important. You're going to want to do this on local communication. See that up on the this way, up in the top right corner of the screen, it says local communication. You don't want to do this on the internet because then your friends are going to see your raid pop up and they're going to think that they get to do an Arcanine raid in this particular example, and they're going to try to jump in with you, and then you're going to cancel it and they're going to be like, oh, no Arcanine raid. So do it on local communication so that you don't your raids don't show up on anybody else's screen out there in the world because you don't want to disappoint them. So that's step number one. We're going to be on local communication, right? I'm going to click on the raid again, and I'm going to click invite others. When I click invite others, you're going to see that the timer starts ticking down, but we're on local communication, so nobody out there on the internet can see my raid. Only people who are connected to my Wi-Fi at home would be able to see it, and there's nobody else connected to my Wi-Fi. So now that the timer has started ticking down, I'm going to hit the home button, and I'm going to go to my settings, right? I'm going to go all the way down to system, and then I'm going to click on date and time. If you have the synchronize the clock via the internet option turned on, you need to turn it off, and then you're going to come down to date and time and simply move the day 1 day forward, just like I did right there, and hit OK. Then I'm going to hit my home button, and I'm going to click on Pokemon Shield, and it's going to come back to the same screen I was just on with the raid. And you can see Arcanine is still on the screen, but I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit, and I'm going to back out. I'm going to back out of this raid. And now you can see that purple beam of light is still there. But we've moved the clock a day forward. And the game has basically decided, wow, Nobody apparently wanted to raid with good old Hypnotic for a full day, so that must not have been a very good spawn. And it has given us a new spawn. So when I click on the den, you're going to see it has reset. There's energy pouring out of the den. It gives me 2,000 watts. So we know that the den has definitely been reset because it just gave me 2,000 more watts. And now we'll see what the spawn is. And it's a Heatmore. So it has changed from Arcanine to Heatmore. So I'm going to do it one more time just for the sake of demonstration. I'm going to click invite others. And the timer is going to start counting down. Once the timer is counting down, I'm going to hit the home button. I'm going to go to the settings. I'm going to go all the way down to system and then date and time. I'm going to move the day 1 day forward. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to go back to my home screen and I'm going to click on Pokemon Shield. I'm going to back out of this raid. And then I'm going to see my purple beam of light again. I'm going to click on it and we'll see what it is. 2,000 more watts, so we know it's been reset. And this time it is a Torkoal. Still not a Charizard, but you can continue doing this over and over and over until you get the spawn that you want. And at this point, we've still only used one wishing piece and we are not connected to the internet. So we're not disappointing other people. Nobody else out there in the world can see these raids that are popping up within my game because that's what we want to avoid. We don't want these raids to pop up on somebody else's Switch and then have them try to join us and then not be able to. So we're not connected to the internet. We've only used one wishing piece and we're changing the spawn over and over. I'm going to keep going until I get the Charizard and then the video will just kind of cut forward from there so that the video, for the sake of the video being a little bit shorter. The other thing that's really cool about this process is that we get 2,000 watts every single time we click on one of these dens that have been reset. So as you can see, I'm just farming so many watts over and over and over. I'm up to 88,000 watts now. So even when I don't get the spawn that I'm looking for, you still get something good out of it. You're getting those 2,000 watts. It's freaking fantastic. But I'm going to keep moving here. I'm going to keep looking for this Charizard. Hey, there we go. There it is. Finally. Gigantamax Charizard raid. We forced it to spawn. Again, we've only used one wishing piece. We've racked up a bunch of watts in the process, and we got it. Realistically, on the actual clock, I know the video just cut forward, but that took me 10 minutes. 10 minutes between the first Arcanine that we pulled up on the screen and the Gigantamax Charizard spawn. I'm not going to actually do this raid as part of the video because I want to save this so that I can actually invite a few of my in real life friends so that they can get the Gigantamax Charizard as well. But there it is. You can see it on the screen. We were able to get the Gigantamax Charizard. It is a 5-star raid. Let me just hide the webcam real quick and you can see what's going on. 5-star fire and flying Gigantamax Charizard. So you can see that this whole thing works. It definitely works. I'm going to back out. And now I can leave this here. I can leave this on my screen. I can run around. I can go play the game. And when I click on it, it'll still be there. And now I can actually go into my Ycom and I can connect to the internet. And once I do connect to the internet, people, my friends who are on my Switch friends list will be able to see that I have a Dynamax Charizard and they'll be able to do that raid with me. None of the other raids that I cycled through to get to the Gigantamax Charizard would have popped up for other people to see. So again, a lot of people have been saying that this is not a good thing to do because you might disappoint your friends or disappoint other people online who see your raids. They might try to jump in and then you reset it and then the raid is gone. That's not happening if you're not connected to the internet. So again, do this on local communication and you'll be Gucci. But that's going to wrap up this video. If you have any questions about what's going on, if I didn't explain anything well, pop them down in the comments below. I'll definitely be responding to as many of them as I can. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching the video. If you found it useful, again, please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitch and on Twitter as well. I do most of my live streams on Twitch, and I'm always chatting on Twitter. Links are down in the description. Until next time, always wash your hands when you want to eat, but always keep them dirty enough to see where you come from. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.